Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, Frank Valentine gets it done. Okay, I'm gonna sit there and say that again. Frank Valentine gets it done. Okay, that's that guy right there. Now, this episode was good. It was also kind of it was also kind of a little all over the place. Okay, it got a little kind of chaotic. Okay. I wrote so many damn people on between two pages. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to probably forget some of these people. So I'll try to shortcut it as best I can. Lucy, for some odd reason, decided to gossip to Natalia about Sunny and Carly's love life. Their relationships, their rocky, their ups and downs and everything for reasons that I don't even know why. I really don't know why. And yes, I know people can sit there and say, yes, it does somewhat play in towards the end when Sonny and Natalia talk, but Lucy didn't know how Natalia felt about Sonny. So it just kind of felt like it was just her randomly gossiping for like no reason. Like the minute that she saw it, it was like, oh, this can't be good. And I'm like, Lucy, why don't you sit there and worry about your own love life? Just an idea. But yes, you see Sonny and Carly. Carly being annoyed that she has to be there doing this whole fake romance and everything like that. I'm like, Carly, boo. You don't want to stop there and throw some life on. Nobody cares about your griping and moaning. No one cares. You did this to yourself. Um, but eventually she does get really antsy. And she's waiting for a call from Jack, which is not happening. And she tries to call, and she's not getting through. So eventually she winds up leaving. Now, while Lucy is there talking more about a relationship that has nothing to do with her, Sunny comes over, and Sunny's like, so can I borrow the tire for a little bit so we can sit there and kind of hash out some business? So they sit down, they start talking and everything. Now, Robert and Diane are out on a date, and it's interesting too because last night people were sitting there saying, so like, are those two a thing or not? And I remember on B&B, Carter and Katie broke up, and they kind of did it like offhand, where they kind of mentioned it a little bit. So I was wondering, was that the situation maybe? But no, they're still dating, and they were sitting there talking about Mr. Brennan. That was about it. That's literally what they did for most of their talk, their time together. But of course, I guess Diane must have spotted Sunny talking to Natalia. Now, it does get to a point when Natalia asks, what's the situation with you and Carly? And for the most part, he's very vague until he sees Diane. And Diane pretty much kind of like pulls him to the side and just gives him a reality check like, yo, listen. Apparently, it was probably in the same day. I imagine it was in the same day because she was like, yo, listen, I just sat there and had this conversation with Carly about you just flirting with other people. You do realize that your freedom relies on this shaky alibi at best, right? Now Sonny's like, oh, come on, I'm just not there talking business. And, Diane's like, okay, no one cares what you're doing. It's optics that matters. Which, by the way, Martin was actually there too, just kind of looking at the whole thing because, he's ready to sit there and start poking some holes in, Carly's alibi. So, she pretty much kind of gets him right back on track, like, yo, listen, you pay me good money and stuff like that. And of course, just this also rides on on Carly. This also rides on Alexis in a sense. Um, so after that, she's like, okay, fine. I gave you a talking to or whatever, and she goes back. And Sunny for the most part is like, I'm not really involved with anyone, but Carly's always gonna be my life. Okay, so I saw what you just did right there. You pretty much just left the door open to, be with Natalia. Even though you know that you're supposed to be out there with Carly, romance and wanting and dining her and everything like that. But like, I'm not really involved with no one. It's like the sleaze bags that is married and they see a hot girl sit down at the bar and then they just take off their ring. That's what that kind of reminded me of. But she does sit there and allude to some past or whatever. She's like, it scares certain people off. Um, Whatever her issue is, whatever man that she was with or whatever. But she doesn't really kind of get into it, and I'm kind of curious about that. But then she, like I said, she leaves. She's like, what, listen, it's probably not a good idea to get involved with people I work with. So she leaves. Now, while that's all going on, you got Lucky and Anna, Lucky and Sitwell fighting for the gun. Lucky gets the gun. Sitwell has a knife to Holly's side. So Lucky pretends like he's gonna sit there and drop the gun. Holly steps on his foot. She runs out. Both of those two start fighting. Sitwell, who I guess must be in his mid 60s. I'll sit there and say mid 60s, close to 70s. Somehow gets the better hand of Lucky. Not even gonna sit there and try to analyze that. But anyway, um, I guess Lucky's sitting there looking where Holly's at, like, Holly, you gonna sit there and help me, you gonna save me, whatever. And I guess Holly was like, no, 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 you got this. You're good. Um, Jason and Anna, after they kiss, because, now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna sit there and just take a little hot take on this, because I was gonna do a short, but I just could not find the time. Okay, so here's the thing. There's a lot of people that's so disgusted. They're grossed out. They're like, oh my God, this is just, the humanity of it all, right? It's not really that big of a deal. I don't understand why people keep sitting there bringing up Robin for some odd reason. Robin and Jason was decades ago, not years ago, decades ago. Robin is happily married and has two kids. Okay, so when people sit there saying, "Well, how's Robin going to sit there and feel?" Robin is not going to be heartbroken about it. Robin is not going to sit there and feel weird about it. Robin doesn't have time to sit there and feel weird about it. Why? Because Robin has two kids, and one of them is off in college. I don't think that she's going to be like, "Oh my God, how could you sit there and do this?" So I think people need to sit there and kind of just relax on the whole. How's Robin going to sit there and take this? I just want to sit there and also stress the fact that the actor that plays Steve is 54. The actress that plays Anna is 64. I really don't understand what is people so grossed out about. Which, by the way, I don't remember this much of an uproar when Sam and Dante was up there dating and they share a sibling. I didn't remember the world going ablaze and people like, oh my God, I threw up in my mouth when that happened. But this whole Anna and Jason thing, oof, I really got some of you people in a huff. Oh my God, it's really not that serious. Anyway, um, so anyway, they kiss. Then the guards come in. They try to fight off the guards, but it's 3-2, so it doesn't go well for Anna and Jason. So they're about to pretty much get executed. Now Jack is not there, I guess, ordering an airstrike or whatever, even though he didn't have the authority to do it by whatever secretary or woman he was not there working with. But he did anyway. For Carly. I don't know what kind of spell does this woman have over people. She has Jason Smith there going to dangerous parts of the world. She has Jack breaking all sorts of violations and codes and all sorts of stuff just to be with Carly. I mean, she's pretty. She has nice hair, but I don't get it. Anyway, he orders an airstrike, right? And I guess like the first whatever missile that comes up gets so close that it sends both of Anna, Jason, and I guess the three cars just like flying back, right? And I sat there, was like, if this was any closer, um, they would have been dead. Like they would have been dead. But Carly's there and she's kind of like watching some of the stuff that's going on, like satellite wise or whatever, just to kind of really keep her informed. Even though I'm pretty sure he's not supposed to be doing that or well pretty much anything else at this point, but because she's Carly, we just breaks all sorts of rules and treaties and stuff like that. So they able to get free. Jason and Anna able to get free. Jason saves Lucky. They're all sitting there wondering where is Holly at, but they're like they gotta go. And for some odd reason, Lucky's like, no, 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 go without me. Go without. I'm sorry. Did you not hear the vital importance of why you need to then get your ass out of there? So they all go, and Holly comes in. Holly comes in with the truck or Jeep or whatever. So they go sit there and make it back onto the airplane. And then for some odd reason, the Brennan or Jack is not there telling Carly like, hey, listen, they just made it to the plane, they board and everything like that, so that they're taking off and they're out there, right? And he should have just left it like that. But then when he sat there and said, well, kind of be bearer of the bad news, they're not exactly safe yet. They're not exactly in um like a safe flight zone. So at any point in time, they can be shot down. I should have probably not told you that. I don't know why he sat there and told her that. So now she's freaking out. I guess just to add tension or whatever. And of course, they get out. Carly's happy and everything like that. And Sitwell and his men, Sitwell's like, yo, where's Holly at? Holly stole a diamond. It almost looks like she stole a couple of diamonds. So now Holly's there bringing trouble back to Port Charles. Because things you don't sit there and mess with when it comes to his man is money and his pride. Yeah, you should have probably at that point killed them. Yeah. So yeah, for anyone listening there thinking that we're done with Sitwell, we're not. We're not done with Sitwell. We're not. Lucy comes over there to sit there and talk to Marty and everything like that, and she's all like, "Oh, you look so nice and so clean cut and this, that, and the third, and I'm always like, yeah, Well, no. Lucy was like, well, I'm pretty sure that you're back. You're busy with clients and stuff like that, and that's why you haven't called me. I was like, I'm sorry, what? It was like, yeah, I've been back, but that's not why I haven't called you. I haven't called you because I pretty much didn't want to. And she is shocked. And she actually says, she's like, I thought, since you got back, we would just let bygones be bygones. I'm like, so cheating on him is just considered bygones at this point now? I know Lucy is, what's a nice word for it? Stupid. I'm pretty sure that's not a nice word for it, but that's the word I'm going to sit there and use. But like, oh, you sat there and you cheated on him with Scott Baldwin, and you think that because he's back, everything's all good in the hood. So he's like, you know what, listen, I'm a new and improve, and I can sit there and cut people and things and toxic stuff out of my life, aka your dumbass. So she's like, oh, you really just, it's just so easy to cut people out, cut things and people out of your life like that. I'm like, how did you ever? It's like, how did you get this far in life? It's amazing. I'm like, don't be wrong. It's not like Lucy ain't kind of bad still, but like, so he just walks away. She looks dumbfounded. And then I think the last scene is with Felicia and Liz. And Felicia's just sitting there asking Liz, like, when Lucky comes back, how you gonna feel about him? Pretty much want to be with him or whatever. Like, how do you feel? And she's more worried about how the relationship between Lucky and her son is going to be like, because apparently they haven't seen each other in ages. Now, I could have swore that wasn't the case. I could have swore a couple of times she would sit there and say, yeah, Aiden's sitting there visiting Lucky in Ireland or whatever, because that was the last place he was at. Um, but now it was like, of course they retconned and stuff. He hasn't seen him in years and decades and forever. I'm like, okay, so we're dealing with another look. Got it. Um, but yeah, she's just more worried about that relationship. That relationship and how that pans out. Now, of course, Felicia goes into Frisco and everything, and part of me just kind of laughs and just like, oh, you mean that time when you were a deadbeat mom? And you decided to drop off your two girls off the Mac so you can go around chasing Frisco. Yeah, that's not really something you should really bring up. Just throwing it out there. But after that, Liz gets a call from Lucky. Now, Tracy sees Sasha and Cody look like they about to sit there and get it on. So Cody automatically thinks that Sasha's going to be fired. He's like, "Well, if she's fired, I'm going to quit too." Okay, I mean that's kind of noble and everything like that, but what are you gonna do after? Because Sasha still got connections. Sasha can always sit there and work at the hotel. Sasha can always sit there and work with Nina. You, on the other hand, um, but she pretty much comes over there. Long story short, Tracy comes over there to apologize. She apologizes, and she's just honest with them about why she acted the way that she acted when she saw Cody with the family and everything. And she pretty much just kind of apologizes, and everything just kind of they accept the apology and they start joking and stuff like that. And one of the things that Tracy did sit there and say was, "Get a lock, get a room, get a lock," right? Because part of me just kind of looks there, and for a hot minute I thought that Tracy was gonna go off because if we're gonna be kind of honest, it's not like she doesn't have grounds for that. You guys have to remember there are kids on that property, right? And I'm pretty sure Olivia says something along the lines of, "What you do on your own time is your business." But right? Anybody can walk in there at any point in time and see things that they shouldn't be seeing, right? So all reality, I'm just not there saying like she would not have been like entirely in the wrong. Um, I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Um, I feel like there might have been some stuff I could have left out because they just like threw everyone there. Lucky again got another update from. Well, Lucky once again got updated about Lulu's condition, which is like I'm pretty sure he got updated by Lulu's condition from Jason, but for some odd reason, Anna needed to just kind of like refill him in for some odd reason. So yeah, Anyway, with that being said, I think that's actually going to do it. Again, I might have left some stuff out here or there, but that's the gist of the episode. If I did leave anything out, write in the comment section or come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Born and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless, which, by the way, Young and the Restless have just been killing it. I just want to, and yeah, I kind of get the whole pun intended now, but they've been stepping it up. Once again, Frank Valentini gets it done, okay? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video or hopefully live stream tonight.